What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for today's video, man, I wanted to give you guys a character review on Titania. And I'm sorry for being so late, guys. I've actually been trying to give you guys a review on her for about 2 weeks now because I've had her built so freaking long. It's just that Spider-Man, Thanos, and Jean Grey has just had all of my attention, and I just kind of forgot about her, which is an insult because she's actually a great character. Now, I know a lot of people are currently just ignoring her because she comes in this game and everyone's thinking, okay, this is just another She-Hulk. She has the leadership, the body is pretty much the exact same, so they're thinking, okay, we don't have to build her because all she's really good for is her leadership. And if that's what you're thinking, I'm gonna tell you that you're dead wrong. Okay, she's actually a great PvE character based on my testing. Shadowland, when it comes to relays, wave modes, rumbles, boss modes, she can clear them. Okay, guys, and I'm gonna try my best to get some of those out to you guys. Definitely a great Shadowland character. When it comes to world boss, she can give you 6 wins against the normal world bosses. The only one that she can't beat is Black Dwarf, just because of its really high physical defense. But everything else, they will die. Okay, so great PvE character. When it comes to alliance battle though, I would say keep her out of alliance battle just because the Frost Beast has such high physical defense that she's gonna take a long time just to clear normal AB. I haven't tried her in extreme just because my Titania is tier 1, and that's not a fair comparison, but I don't imagine that she's gonna do very well in extreme AB. But when it comes to world boss and freaking Shadowland, she's gonna do great for you there. And that's pretty much just icing on the cake because she comes in this game and she's sporting a 50% physical attack leadership, which is freaking amazing, especially coupled with the fact that she's a super villain. So for any of you guys who are currently struggling on combat super villain days, so on Thursdays, because your Sandman is just not strong enough to break 100k, this leadership right here is what you need. You need to be building her as soon as possible because that's going to make it so that you can break 100k for sure. So not only does she have a really good kit where she can hold her own, she makes it so that you can get yourself an alliance battle clear on one of the most important days, and that is Thursdays, because that is the day of the reset, so you can clear alliance battle twice. That means 2 6-star ISOs, double the gold, and double the fun. Okay, so definitely a character that you should be working on. Even if you don't like her, at least build her for her leadership, and trust me guys, if you do that, you'll find a use for her, guaranteed. Okay, now let's take a look at her overall kit. Her tier 2 passive, to be honest with you, is not the greatest of tier 2 passive. It does make her a little bit more tanky, which is a really good thing because she's already pretty tanky at tier 1. Tier 1, she can take hits, and she doesn't even have to take hits just because she has a damage block and she has a couple partial iframes in the kit already. So lots of survivability in here. So for her build, you definitely want to think offense. 5 skill is her highest damaging skill. It is, I would say, a 95-5 iframe, where 5% of the skill is not an iframe, and that 5% is at the beginning of the skill. So when she launches the skill and she starts spinning, those first few seconds are not an iframe and you can't take damage. And you may actually not notice this sometimes just because she has a 2-second stun here, but when you go in something like World Boss and the World Boss cannot be stunned, you will notice that it is not a full iframe. But it is still a very powerful skill and something you should use as soon as it comes off cooldown. Trust me guys. 4 skill is a great skill for buffing her damage and a little bit of defense as well. Gives you some all speed, which is always nice. This skill right here you should always use when you're in a state of damage block because it leaves you very vulnerable. Okay, definitely never use this skill unless you have the 3 skill activated. 3 skill is damage block for 5 seconds and it's on a 15-second cooldown. So with max skill cooldown, which you should prioritize getting max skill cooldown, that's going to come down to 7.5 seconds. Okay, so before your damage block runs out, at all times you want to make sure you trigger this. Okay, very important for upping your damage and, to be honest, upping your survivability a little bit because you don't want to spend too long in a fight. Eventually you will die. 4-star passive is not really that good at tier 1. Alright, she gets super armor, which means she cannot be guard broken, which is great. 5% all defense is kind of shitty. However, when you tier 2 her, this goes up to, I believe, 20%, which is great. So 20% all defense here, plus her freaking tier 2 passive gives her 25% decrease to all damage received, and she gets recovery as well. So if you really like her and you actually tier 2 her, this is not a wasted passive. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it's one hit. Never really care for passives that activate when you get hit, but it's not that bad. It's a 35% chance, and since you have damage block in the kit, you do have a way to take some damage to get this to trigger if you do need that recovery and you want that damage boost, right? Not too bad, to be honest. I would have preferred it if it was a 15-second duration instead of 10 seconds, but okay, I can live with that. The 3 skill right here we already spoke on. It is a damage accumulation similar to Sharon Rogers, but the damage is nowhere close to being on Sharon Rogers' level, okay? This 2 skill right here decreases the enemy's defenses by 500, plus there's a 20% chance for their attacks to miss for 3 seconds. Not too bad, to be honest. The only thing I don't like is the long drawn out animation on this skill, and it's only at the last part of the skill where this debuff gets applied. So you want to always use this skill after you use the 3 skill. So the 4 and the 2, if you want to use them, definitely make sure the 3 is up, otherwise you're going to be in risky territory. Like I said, she can take some hits, but you don't want to take too many hits, okay? Eventually she will die. Everything dies. 1 skill right here is a partial iframe. However, the partial iframe doesn't kick in until she actually does the kick at the end of the skill. If you have high enough attack speed, you could potentially squeeze this in, but to be honest, I just completely ignored this skill half the time. For her ISO set, I'm running Power for Angry Hulk because I wanted a little bit of attack speed to experiment and see if I could remove the, I would say, wind up. Well, it's not really a wind up. I wanted to see if I could make the 5 skill faster and just prevent taking damage at the beginning of the skill if I wasn't in the damage block. However, I haven't found that to be the case, unfortunately. So yeah, but more attack speed is always nice for me because my cards don't give me that much. And to be honest, like I said, you want to go for something offensive with her because she has a really good kit in terms of survivability. She can take damage and she has a heal at tier 2, right? Power Fang Hulk, Overdrive, maybe even Hawk's Eye, your choice, but don't go for anything else and you should be fine. As for an Obelisk, guys, I went for max HP because I wanted to make her a little bit of a tank. That's just my personal preference, but main thing here, guys, is making sure that you have a damage block. You could go for invincibility if you're just gonna use her in Conquest, but I've been testing her in Conquest and she doesn't prioritize her 3 skill or her 5 skill. So to me, it's not worth it to build her for something like Conquest because she's not gonna prioritize her main iframe skill, which is her 5 skill, which deals the most amount of damage, and she doesn't prioritize her 3 skill, which is the way to keep her alive. So not really a good idea to put invincibility on her, because if you do that, you're going to lower her damage to the point where she won't be able to do a lot of the stuff I'm able to do with her, which is mainly Shadowland stuff and maybe some world boss stuff. So keep that in mind, okay guys? And the max HP will also help if you do eventually tier 2 her, because her tier 2 passive, she recovers 15% of her max HP. So definitely a good idea to stack her HP a little bit if you want to make her a bit of a tank, but don't sacrifice too much attack power to do it, right? That's why I threw the damage proc on here. Sadly, because I didn't put either crit damage or ignore defense right here, that means for the Urus, which I will eventually put on her, she definitely has to get it that way. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you guys just what her details are looking like. Priority for me is always number 1, max skill cooldown, and I have that. Number 2 is going to be ignore defense. I don't have that yet, but that's going to be worked on soon. Right here, 147 for crit damage, kind of low to be honest. I like 160 and up. Crit rate is decent, 44%. Attack speed, I like where it is right now. 117 is not too bad. So we're gonna stick with that for now and see just how she played. And all of her gears are currently at 20. The last gear right here is rolled for skill cooldown, and it's just a regular Thanos today, but we're gonna just try to get a speed clear against him and see just how things go. Okay guys, so let's pick up who should we pick up? Let's pick up her boy Hulkling, throw him to the side here, and my girl Titania. And who else should we pick up? You know what, we'll pick up his speed equivalent. Yeah, Gamora. Let's do it guys, let's do it. Alright, let's do it. So the rotation you guys are going to see me use right here, and I'm not saying this is the perfect rotation or anything like that. I'm just using 3, then 2, then 1, then 4, then 5. Okay, so let's run a circle around this idiot real quick. 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. And you guys saw that little hit right there while I was spinning. That's what I was talking about when I said the 5 is a 95.5 iframe. That little bit of spinning that she does at the beginning of the skill is not an iframe. Run, girl, run. Run with them cinder blocks, girl. You got it. To be honest, her damage is pretty nice though. Pretty nice, I can't lie. For a character that deals a physical damage against someone like Thanos with really high physical defense, she's doing pretty nice. Granted, she does have her own leadership to buff up her damage, but can't fault her for that. She has a great leadership. She has a great leadership. Work them bonds, girl. So yeah, we're pretty much just face tanking, and she's doing pretty damn well. I can't lie to you guys. So under 2 minutes, no strikers, and that was pretty smooth. I did get hit, but that was just me being sloppy because we're just trying to speed clear this. But yeah, guys, Titania, fantastic PvE character. Definitely worthy of you investing as much resource as you feel like investing in her. If you want to tier 2 her, to be honest, I'll say she's worth it because she's gonna get you some PvE content done, and that's more than I can say for a lot of characters in this game. Okay, Shadowland, she's fantastic. World Boss, she's fantastic. And I'm sure if you build her and invest enough in her, she can be a fantastic PvP character as well. But that's all I have to share for this one, guys. Like always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and your experiences with Titania, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm out, boys. Peace.